Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to this awesome episode. You guys, I am so excited. I have my great friend Amigo here. All of you know him as JamminLu 20 here. He is 21. You know what? He has taken social media by storm and says it like it is, right? We are out there and fighting the establishment. And Amigo, it's been a while. ¿Cómo estás? It's been what since Chad Pracker
Uh,
was running for
yeah, in Dallas.
governor. Yeah, where
Yeah,
was that?
when we
Was
were
that
in
in
Dallas.
Odessa or where was that?
That was in the Dallas Fort Worth area. But it's been great, It's been great. And thank you for having me on your platform. I'm very grateful, and you know what? You just keep doing your thing. I'm very proud of you. Compared
Yeah,
to what you've never stopped, and that says a lot about your character, your resiliency, and the times you've been knocked down, and you just come right back up and show that pride. I'm very proud of you.
yeah.
Very proud of you.
Thank you so much, and you too. We have to be out there, and we are that loud Latino voice of reason, right? We have to be that voice of reason because who else is going to do this? And you know what, amigo, we know that the Latino community, we are up and coming. We are the ones that are becoming the majority in this country. And you and I both live in Texas, so Texas just became. I mean, the Hispanic community just became the majority in the state of Texas, which is huge for us. So we have to lead the way. We have to show that. I mean, we are naturally conservative people, and we were lied to for a long time, right? We were lied to by the Democrats that they were for us, they were for the poor, and that the Republicans were for the rich, and we were lied to. And
And
so,
yet, the thing is that we've always been here, but now we're being heard.
yeah,
Now we're being heard, and that's the thing. Like growing up where I grew up at here in South Odessa, in the barrios and in the hoods. Like
yeah,
that's one thing I've always been told is don't vote for the Republicans. Son para los ricos y los güeros, and vote Democrat. They're for us. They're for the Latinos, and I'm over here thinking in 2012, Charlie, not no more. 2016, no more. You're not getting my vote for shit no more. You're still promising me the same stuff you did in 2008, 2012. Not no more. Not doing it. So
no,
I'm
because
very vocal about it.
and we woke up, right? And like I tell a lot of people, it really took Trump for it to open our eyes and say, come on, what have they done for you? Really, what have they done for the Latino community? And coming from New Mexico, I tell the story all the time. We've been ran by the Democrats for 100 years, and if they're supposed to be for the poor, plus why are we still poor? Why are we still poor? Something's not working out. Something isn't happening. It isn't happening. It isn't working for us. So we really had to open our eyes. And I feel like it was him, right? He really opened our eyes to the lies and the manipulation. They were there to keep us poor. And man, we've really, people like you and I and others, we've had to really fight because we're traitors. We're racist.
Hey, you know what? You know what's pretty cool is whenever I hear certain things like I used to not like you. I used to hate you. I used to report your lives on TikTok, and I used to report your videos on Instagram. And I'm like, well, do you still feel that way? And they're like, challenge, bro. In serio, in the end, I gotta admit, I was wrong. I was wrong. Like some of the things you were talking about then, 2 years ago, 4 years ago, era la verdad, bro. Like they don't care about us. They use us every 4 years. Siempre andan ahí they even go to our churches. Y ahí andan, this, that, y esto, el otro. Y ahí están las señoras. Uh-huh. The older ladies in church always knew they could see through the bullshit.
Yeah.
They could. But what do you do? Like, so now with the advancements of technology, social media being what it is,
Right.
like we're not going to stay silent anymore. We're not going to shut up. We're not going to back down. No, aquí estamos. We're not going nowhere.
Yeah.
Like it, love it, leave it, hate it. We don't care. We're going to say what we want to say. And the crazy part is, ¿por qué se enojan la gente? Why do the people get mad? When we share our experiences, when we express who we want to vote away, we're not a monolith. We're not a monolith. We all have our own independent views and stances. Let us have them. Pues qué chinga. Like,
And it's so true. Like, I feel like it's taken us a lot longer to really get a hold of the older gente, right? To really have the older gente, because they're very prideful still. And they're like, no, we can't. I mean, it was so instilled in us that we couldn't trust the Republican Party. And so we still have some of those that, and they believed the lies that Trump is this, and Trump is rough around the edges. Absolutely. But I'll never forget, amigo, when he came down that escalator, I said, there's a boss man. I'm voting for Trump, because I'm sure, like you, I was sick of the politicians, sick of the lies, sick of the promises, sick of everything. We watched them get rich and richer and richer. Y ya, pues our people, where were they? They were still poor.
But you know what's crazy? I wasn't gonna vote for him when I saw him coming down the escalator. I
Really?
wasn't gonna vote for Hillary either. I didn't know who I was voting for.
Yeah.
But when he started saying he was gonna run, I was like, no, because Ted Cruz, like I've met in person a couple of times. Esto y lo otro, you know, the flag that's behind me was flown at the U.S. Capitol on September the 11th in 2017. It was a 17 year remembrance, and Ted Cruz got me that flag, you know. But in the end, you know, like I know what you're saying, but it was when I was going to college that one of my professors told me he was a liberal también, you know, and he knew I was a liberal, and I just asked him, I was like, why are politicians so divisive? He goes, if you listen to what they say, what they accuse the other one of doing is what they're guilty of.
Yeah.
And that's when the whole Russia stuff was coming and all that other stuff. And I was like, you mean like Hillary Clinton does Trump? And just like that, 2 days later, he pulls me over or he pulls me aside in the hallway. And he said, it's been weighing on my heart. Everything that Hillary has been claiming Trump has done, she's guilty of it. And I'm not going to vote for her. And I was like, I was never going to vote for her. But ever since then, you know, he's never voted Democrat again. Two liberals woke each other up on an innocent question.
Wow, that is awesome. I think for me, because he was a businessman, and I used to always say, this country, I mean, the president is the CEO of the country. He is the CEO. So we need to have somebody that's going to run this country like a CEO. You know, because we're tired. I mean, the American dream has been gone. It has been gone for a long time. And I'm old enough to remember, you know, growing up and talking about it and understanding what that means. And literally, I remember seeing things in our home that said made in America. So, and it's sad because they did really indoctrinate this whole generation of children. And it's so frustrating because I know, like me, I want to get the chancla out on everybody. You know?
Wait. I thought this was a chancla free zone. I have chancla PTSD, Melinda.
No. It's never the chancla free zone.
Well, no, and I get it. I get it. But you know, and you're not wrong. You know, what you're saying is true. And this is part of the indoctrination that's happened on our youth. Because when we were younger, we used to sit here and go ride our bikes through the neighborhood, through the barrios, and this and that. And we had friends of all backgrounds. You know, we would pull over to a house and drink water out of their water hose and keep on going. Y no decía nadie. You know, nobody said anything.
No.
You know,
or like the neighbors would whoop your behind if they needed to, you know, if you got out of line. And like, we were terrified of our parents. And these kids, they don't care about anything. They have zero respect, zero morals. They're lazy. They think America is like the most racist, horrible country in this world, and they're not being taught right. There's no discipline, and my God, and yeah.
I was talking to some of them, right? And here's part of the problem with our youth. Our youth has no investment in America. No. They feel like our government doesn't have anything to offer them because they were lied to about the college debt. They're lied to about, you know, the recession and then the inflation and so on and so forth. They're lied about going to college and then getting a heck of a paying job when you get out. Like they have no investment, you know, so all they want to do is rebel. But the way we rebelled is we didn't listen to government. Everything they told us, we did the opposite. Yeah. That was rebellion. Pero these young kids nowadays, no, they're doing everything for the government and they don't realize it. And that's the messed up part.
And like Mr. Garcia also said here, nowadays it's about entitlement. It is. It really is about entitlement. They feel like we owe them everything when we, our generation is the last generation. Like, I remember watching this one video. She's like, we didn't have gluten allergies. And it's true. Where the hell did this gluten come from? What? We've never heard of that. Give us the
Hey,
tortillas with the green, with the chile. It killed everything. The
hey,
beans.
Melinda.
Yeah.
Melinda, if we would have told abuelitas when they were younger in their prime, or like when we were younger, if we would have told them, no, abuelita, I can't have none of no tortillas porque tiene gluten, it has gluten in it. Our abuelita would have busted our que gluten free, nada que nada, nita comerla. You need to eat it. Gluten don't hurt you. Gluten makes you strong. Like like our abuelitas would sit here and like, man, we would get beat. Like, let's keep it a
Right.
buck. You get
Terrified.
disciplined or
We didn't care. We were going to be crying, but we were going to eat that food, because we can't get off the table until it's all gone. But
hey,
I want to get the
but
chocolate on everybody, even the politicians. Let
yeah,
me.
they deserve it. Yeah, but not me. Not me. I never deserved the chancla. But and then there's one thing too. Like we now see a lot of people though that are younger waking up. Like everything that's going on in Chicago and in Denver. Man, Denver is getting it really bad right now. New York, también. And
Yeah.
these younger generations are seeing it. They're having more videos come out on social media. I'm just glad that they're waking up to it. And I hope it's not too late, but you're going to have the media, the fourth branch of government, as I call it, try to spin the narrative. That's why they were saying Trump's going to run like a dictator, and he admitted it and this and that. And I'm like, you know what? In the end, you're going to fall for what you fall for. I just hope that you wake up to the manipulation, you know?
Well, the media is literally the enemy in this country. They are supposed to, even back in the day, if they are like, I forgot what was that old man's name, but he was liberal, but he did his job. He would hold the politicians accountable. I tell people, the
Larry
politicians,
King.
yeah, yeah, yes, Larry King. The politicians have put themselves on their own damn pedestal. That they're all like these celebrities, are high and mighty, that they're better than us. They have forgotten that they are civil servants, that they work for the people, by the people, and they have become so powerful. But you know what, amigo? That's because we have been stagnant. We haven't done anything to hold them accountable. I don't remember my abuelita, my mama, nobody. They didn't show up to the town halls. They didn't show up to the school districts. They didn't protest like what we're going to have to do now. We're going to have to work our aces off to really get out there and fight like hell. And that's what Luca does. That's what we are. We show up. And being in the Latino community, especially as Latinas, we can get a little crazy. And just like both of us have been in this fight. I've
I,
seen
I will never, I will never confirm that short Latinas get crazy. I will never ever confirm that.
never.
No, no, I will not. Somebody's gonna see this whenever I'm in El Paso or Eagle Pass, and they're gonna be like, "You were that one."
Exactly. But so as far as it's us, we just want to Luca, we're just trying to lead the way, right? You don't have to be Latino to join, but because we are becoming the majority, I hope, and it's our goal, amigo, that we stop with this identity politics and the uniting. We are uniting because we need to be united as Americans. That's what we are. We're a melting pot, and the Democrats have literally used this for against each other. So, Luca, we just want to show, yes, we are Latinos, but because we are becoming the majority, we want to lead the way. We want to share that we are conservative and unite with every single one of you. We unite with other organizations, like I said, with the RNHA, because we are conservative, and get out there, and the action has to happen. It has to happen on a local level, in our cities. Who are we putting in office, right? That's so important. And we're showing up to the county commissioners meetings. We're showing up to the school districts. We are showing up everywhere, and we are letting them know, look, we're done. It's about we the people. We're back, and we want control back of our government. We need you to step out. We are sick and tired of your shit. Pretty much. That's what
Yeah,
we are.
but and where the going gets tough,
Yeah.
we get tougher, and that's the way it's supposed to be. You know what I mean? And like I just did a video about remembering the Alamo. That
Yeah.
was Texas strong, Texas prideful people who, even despite the odds, didn't back down.
Yeah,
And we're missing that spirit here, not only in Texas, but also across our country.
we are.
This is why our government takes advantage of our American people. They don't do anything. And then we also have the same problem in the local and state level,
We
like
do.
we do.
We
But
do.
we got to come together in regards to holding these people accountable, because if we don't, it's just going to be a runaway train.
Yeah.
Inflation is going to get worse because spending is outrageous.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? You can say anything is inhumane and add more money to it. But yeah, y'all are quiet as shit whenever stuff is happening at our southern border. Yeah, stuff is happening in our streets in our major cities. We still have homeless veterans. Like,
Oh,
you know what I mean? We're kicking kids out of school so people can sleep in that. Like, what are you talking about? Like, let's get it together. And you know what I'm saying? Because
no,
it's
I do.
ridiculous.
I do. And let me tell you, I fight with a lot of the liberals still because of the open border. And I think we need to talk about that because, both of us being in Texas, I mean, it affects us, but it's also affecting America. But the fact that we are right here, and like I tell people, it's not just that it's coming from the, Southern Latin countries. They're coming from 160 different countries. And there's a video, I'm sure you've seen it, amigo, but there's a video circulating right now, and he's from the Middle East. And he's saying, "Oh, you don't know me, but you will know me." There,
Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen that video, and like a lot of my followers, they'll send me videos that they don't like. They don't agree with what's going on.
yeah,
And the narrative is that Republicans or conservatives don't care about immigrants. When in reality, we do. We just want people to follow the law, do
yeah,
it legally.
yeah,
Because you now put people who have done it legally on the back burner. And we all know somebody. We all have a heart. We
yeah.
all have a heart. But every time I go into a liberal's live where they're talking about immigration, why is it always the tontas that happen to live in Ohio, that happen to live in Connecticut? Try to tell me what I know and what I see down here in Texas. Like, I was just in Eagle Pass last month. I was in El Paso 2 weeks ago.
It's
Like, don't tell me what I've seen. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
because they
it's
believe the damn
ridiculous.
media. They believe
Yeah.
the lying media. They believe what they see on TV, what other people are saying. And TV's right here, the child trafficking. Amigo, that is real. And our border awareness, and I know plenty of people that go and work at the border. And one of my amigas was there, and she says, "Sis, I cannot sleep for a week. I cry because of what the kids are being put through. The trafficking, it is real." And so those that live in other states that don't understand, like, it's so frustrating. This is a real problem. And when we have, what is it now, 7 million people that come in illegally, well, guess what? They don't go through the process. So number one, they're not following the laws. But number two, when you go through the process, you understand our history, you understand our Constitution, you understand what it means to be an American, to be proud, and you get acclimated to our ways. But when you have people here coming from third world countries, they know no better. So they start turning our communities into, it's going to look like third world areas, and
And
that's
it's,
good.
well, it's already happening because there's, like I already mentioned, Denver once. There's a couple of videos that some news agencies went to put out, scrubbed it from their websites
Yeah,
because it was gaining negative attention to the communities coming here, getting resources, and that's not what, like, the liberal news outlet can have. So they
right,
took that video down because they had only like 200 or 300 likes, but like 40,000 comments.
right.
Like, and normally it's backwards. And that's how you know a video is good to post or bad. Because if you have more comments that outweigh the likes,
Yeah.
that's obviously a bad thing. So they took those videos off. But it is of people who are sleeping in tents. It's super cold, esto y lo otro, and I get it.
Yeah.
But in the end, it is still not right. And
Right.
the individuals who are living in those tents, you have whole tent row, there in downtown. Same thing that was happening in Dallas. Same thing that was happening in Chicago. It's bad, and it is inhumane. It's
It is.
disgusting sometimes because if you don't think about, I'm talking about the trash that piles up, the
Yeah.
feces, and all of that other stuff. Because that's not the American way. That
No.
is not. That's not the way we live.
No. And like TB says, the cartels control the border. Cindy was to negotiate with them. Yeah, I'm sure she'll go now. But that's the other thing that's scary is that the cartels literally are in control. And now we have sleeper cells. We do. I have friends that obviously we have a lot of people that work in intel and whatnot, and there are sleeper cells across our country. And I think a lot of people who have the liberal mentality, who believe that the Republicans, that we are all just inhumane, we don't care about people and what they're fleeing, don't understand the reality of where we are today. We have people in other countries, in Middle East and terrorist countries, that chant death to Americans on a daily. And we have a wide open border. It's real simple. People from 160 countries are coming in. How do they not put two and two together to worry that could that be a possibility? And sleeper cells that are here, and people are waiting. It's going to take, let's kind of think of the scenario. It'll take one person who doesn't care to strap on a bomb, right? How many are in our country already? And stand at a mall, in a crowded area in a city, at a school. It doesn't matter. And like clockwork, they just set them off. What will happen in our country?
You don't even need HME or any explosives or anything like that. Fentanyl. Fentanyl is already doing so much damage to our youth. All you got to do is just let it loose. And I'm not disagreeing with you at all in regards to individuals coming here and from all over the world. We don't know who they are.
No.
That's a huge red flag. But Congresswoman Clark out of New York, she said the quiet part out loud. Yeah. She was like, I need more people in my district for redistricting purposes. That right there tells you the motive. The motive is they need more people in their district so they can have more power and their vote count more. And then possibly more on the electoral side.
Yeah.
There's a reason why, but they're forgetting all of but they're forgetting all about the constituents who voted them in office. All these Democrats, whether they're men, women, LGBTQ, black, brown community, so on and so forth, they voted for a lot of these Democrats in office. And they're seeing these Democrats turn around and take care of these people who aren't from here. Ya están enojando. They're getting mad. That's why they're getting upset. So I just want to keep on going with that message, because everything the Democrat Party's running on is pure emotion. January 6th,
yes,
abortion, women's rights, Trump's a dictator.
Yep.
All of those are emotions. You can't change anything about January 6th. The abortion, you have more power at the state level than you do the feds trying to change anything on a federal level. If you don't like what your state laws are, run for office, whatnot, try to change it. And if you don't like it, move to a different state that'll let you do what you want to do to a baby, even if that means aborting it, 3 days after it's born, because that's what it's coming to.
And it's so sad. And so talking about the border again, we are right here, but you're right. When we're now watching people in bigger cities, I mean, the Black community in Chicago, they're coming out and they're pissed. They are so pissed right now because they see that they're put on the back burner, and this is an agenda. Why is this happening? Why are they allowing all of these illegal immigrants to walk right in who are I mean, again, we don't know who they are. They're getting money. Our homeless veterans need money. They're in the streets. And amigo, and we know that they put the drugs in the streets. It's so much chaos that they have unleashed in our country. But not only in our country, we are watching it around the world, because when America isn't stable, it affects the whole world. When Trump came in, what did he do? He dropped the bomb over there. He said, oh no, I'm telling you right now, we're not playing. Try.
He said mess around. He said mess around and find out.
F-A-F-O.
Exactly. And there's a lot of things that are going on that I'm going to start doing. There's some police officers here that want me to do some ride-alongs. Very fortunate to have a good following, that are willing to let me see some of those things. And I'm excited about it. But when you have here in Odessa, just like in there where you're at, here in Odessa, coming down I-20, I can't tell you how many vehicles have been pulled over. The dually work trucks that have the flatbeds and the toolboxes on the very bottom.
Yeah.
It's a flatbed in the back, but toolboxes are on the side. 2 months ago, they caught somebody. They caught 2 small kids in the toolboxes of that truck being smuggled. People don't understand what we're dealing with down here.
It's real.
Yeah, and there was another truck that was the same model truck, just a newer one, that was caught in the summertime Now, you know how hot it gets down here. You
Oh,
know how hot it gets. And yo no estoy en contra. I'm not against people coming here looking for a better future. Just do it legally, right? But when you have situations like that, that and not knowing that the cartels are actually making bank off of this, and then you got the youth, a lot of these girls that are 10 years old, 13 years old, having to take fucking pregnancy tests. That's a huge problem. And I get called a traitor and a sellout. For one, I'm American.
mhm.
America's my country. I don't have nothing against Mexico or any other country. I don't. Okay. But my job as a soldier when I was in the army was for this country,
That's right.
for this country, you know. But I'm not for the southern border being open like that and
Mhm.
little girls taking a pregnancy test because you know what happens to them here
Yeah.
or on their way here. I can't
Well, and
stand it.
I mean, and also, like my amiga told me, the reason why she cries a lot and has to pray because a little 7-year old, when she was a mess, and when they tested her, I'm sure you remember this. When they tested her, she had 28 different samples of semen inside of her. And it's disgusting when you really think about what's happened. It is such a humanitarian crisis, and it is so frustrating, like you said, when people that don't live on the border states literally think that this is a lie because the media says that it's a lie, because the Democrats, how long has the Democrat Party, the Biden administration, been standing on that damn podium saying the border's not open, it's closed, it's open? Well, if it's closed, then why are you guys suing and send Texas a cease and desist? Because now we've kicked them off the land. We have, I mean, we've had to seize, the land, and have them remove everything. So, if they contradict themselves
No,
24/7.
simple. And you know the crazy part is the talking point I get all the time because you know I'm in liberals' lives. They always tell me this. Well, it's Republicans that are turning down the funding so that we can have more border patrol and cameras. We need more cameras, Lou. And I'm over here like, why is there funding to Ukraine in that bill? Why
Billion.
is there? Yeah, why is there so much money? Why can't we have a standalone bill? HR 2 bill has been sitting in the Senate since April, late May, or early May, late April of 2023. It's been sitting there. Nothing has happened. Okay. Indian have a standalone bill. That's it. No money to Ukraine, no money to Canada, no money to anywhere else, just a straight bill. And if you want to do something for veterans, make it a straight bill. Quit throwing all this other pork in there. But we know why they do it.
Of
We
course.
know.
Well,
They got to get
and
paid.
we can now see that Ukraine, I mean, come on, they were friends with Bidens, the Clintons. They have been laundering money with that country for a long time. I mean, we know that now. And the problem is, like they said, all the billions that we've sent to Ukraine, we could have built 6 walls. We could have given every homeless veteran living in the streets a ton of money. We could have gotten them off the streets. We could have put them in homes. I mean, it is, what are we doing? It's a war that we didn't start. There were 0 wars under Trump. And that's what he said. There will be no wars under my watch. None. And he is the first president that was in office that there were 0 wars, no wars. So why is it, with all the money that has gone out there, that they couldn't fix this country first? If it was not about America first, it's clear. It's clear what the agenda is.
And we know what the whole purpose is. In the end, this is all about money, power, and control. That's it. If people don't understand where we're going, look at how quickly Venezuela fell. Look at how
10 years.
quickly it fell.
Took
Yeah.
10
And the
years.
reason it fails because they used actors. It's called controlled opposition. They use actors, they use athletes, and all they do is push agendas through the media, which then you have the little Harry Sissons, the little dude that does the videos of the Democrat Party all the time, always gaslighting you. Like this is where we're at right now. We're already in the middle stage of how Venezuela fell. They've already censored us. They do it all the time on these apps.
Oh yeah.
But when are we going to stop? Like and then Twitter exposes it all. But yet nothing happens. None of our politicians said anything.
No, no, none of them. And you know, and here's the thing, amigo. You know how many people have asked me to run for office? A lot of people are like, Melinda, you need to run for Congress, but I tell them no all the time. You want to know why? Number one, I always tell them my Latino blood won't allow me to be in Congress with the likes of AOC, with Rashida Tlaib, because in all reality, you'll see people rolling down the steps of the Capitol, and I won't care. And number two, I don't want my hands tied. Because look at what our Republicans in the office are dealing with right now. We have the Democrats that have a hold of the Senate. They're in the House. So I would be so frustrated to work so hard to do all this for what? For nada. For nada. We can't move. We can't do anything.
So there's a Mike. He goes by American Politics on TikTok, and he's also American Politics on Instagram. Came up with this little proposal. Just pay Congress, all of Congress, $1. If they can do it to Pete Buttigieg, okay. If they can do it to Pete Buttigieg, do it to the rest of government.
Yeah.
Make it a calling. Make it something that you want to do because it's something that you love. Don't go in it for the money because you got Pelosi getting rich with the insider trading like all these other people, okay? Because she's not the only one. But do it because it's a calling.
Yeah. Absolutely. And so, you know, that's what I tell them. I don't want to go to DC. I want to be here in my communities with my people standing on the front lines, because this is where we're going to make the difference. We can't make the difference out in DC when there's all that bureaucracy, when there's so much infighting, when when we know that we are clearly at a place where we are so divided in DC. The Democrats they're gung-ho on their liberal ideologies, and the Republicans, we have some in there that are rhinos. They're not doing their job. And we're finally getting some in there that are grassroots like us. But here locally is where the fight is. This is where we will be successful. This is where we can make a difference and let it trickle from here all the way up. This is where the fight has to be. And this is why I'm on the front lines. This is why
and we appreciate you for that. Like, we appreciate you because we deal with the same thing here in Odessa. Yeah. Here in Odessa, same thing. Same old good old boy system. Promising change, but end up electing one of their friends, and it's part of the same country club guys that are always intermingled with the same parties. You know what I mean? So it's just same package, just different face, but they all break bread together. But eventually we are going to have to come together because yeah. And if you look at that movie Civil War, it's about to come out. I mean, you just had the Democrat Party in certain states try to take Trump's name off of the ballot.
Oh my God.
Okay, last time that happened was in 1860. What happened in 1861? A civil war. Yeah, like these movies are coming out because they're classically conditioning people, like in their mind and their psyche. This is exactly what happens. The American people don't see through it sometimes because they don't know what to believe. We're too busy working. We're too busy working. We're too busy trying to make it in this, FJB world, with inflation and I don't know if I'm talking who I'm talking to. Sometimes I think it's a man, but it's a woman, and I'm over here like, how did we get here in upside down world? How did we get in upside down world?
Well, and here's the thing, amigo, we have to have every American show up. We cannot sit on our couches anymore. We cannot, when I speak on Luca, we get out there, and if we put an event together, if we show up to the county commissioners and we invite you, show up. Get out of your home, show up, because we are stronger in numbers, and it's going to take us, we the people. We have to get back to we the people. On that Constitution, the forefathers knew what they were writing, knew what they were putting together back then, that we would have to face this one day. And we are there. We are already there, that people do not understand how close we are already to socialism. I'm from New Mexico. That's socialism right next door. And so, if the people do not show up, we're doomed. We have to take control back. We, the people, have to do it ourselves. So that's what Luca's about. That's what we are fighting for. That's what we're trying to get people out of their homes. Get up, get out, get loud, get in their faces. When, whatever it takes, it's going to take us. We cannot do this by ourselves. We need everybody. And
and you said something that's very important that I hope, like, those that end up seeing this video at the beginning, she had said it's a movement where you're uniting Latino like conservative Latinos, but everybody's welcome.
Yeah.
And that's the conservative side of things, or the conservative way. Even if you may not agree with what we're doing, the mere fact that you're willing to have a conversation, you're willing to understand where we're coming from and compromise in a manner that is the right way of doing things, rather than being so, this is my way, this is my way, and all you do is just be like two magnets, you never come together.
Right.
Okay, that's not there's a reason why we have a two-party system.
Yeah.
It's because our government wants it that way. I
Yes.
mean, can you imagine if everybody was a Cowboy fan? The world would be great. But no, we have, like, God didn't make everybody smart. Okay, God didn't make everybody smart. Some of them are Eagles fans. Okay, that's all or 49ers fans. But in the end, we gotta love them. Como Dios dice, we gotta love everybody. But there's a reason for it. There's a reason for it, because even in the football league, AFL, NFL, MLB, American League, National League, like, they do it for a reason, because it's always meant to create division. If our people can see through that and rise up and say, you know what, and this is what I've been saying here lately in the lives I've been in.
Yeah.
You're not opposition to me. I'm not, we may have opposing views, but I'm not your enemy. In the end, I'm still your brother and you're my brother, or you're my sister. In the end, that's what we are. Government, however, can go screw itself. Okay? Because our government is the one that wants us to fight.
Yeah.
They want us to fight so bad, because while we're fighting, they're not doing nothing.
Nope.
They're getting paid, and we're paying them to have us fight each other. So I want more people to start waking up to that manipulation and that level of BS, because in the end, Mama, this is how we get our country back. This is how we get united, and we're no longer divided. Take the D and the R out, just do that for a little bit, and whatever you agree on, I don't care if it's tacos, music, beer, I don't care. There's something you can find to agree on. Okay, something. So build that rapport and level of understanding of where you're at before you start trying to work on things that you don't agree with.
Right.
And because if you start that way, you're never going to get anywhere.
No.
You're never going to get anywhere.
No. And we still have to, and we have to talk to each other. Like I tell a lot of people, we grew up and they said, don't ever talk about politics or religion. I think that's where we screwed up, right? Because, we really cannot talk to each other about any of that. They knew what they were doing. They knew exactly what the hell they were doing. Because we have to think about, they've been talking about this since the 1960s. Okay, there have been things coming down the pipeline for our country since then, with our CIA, the New World Order. It's all true, and they knew it was going to take decades, and they knew Marxism is real. And I ask my fellow Americans all the time, research what Marxism is, research what it means, and you're going to see that it is happening in our country today. You will see it's literally coming down the pipeline, and it's happening in other countries. And it's so true. United, we are going to stand. Divided, we are going to fall.
And most definitely. There's one thing you said, 1960s. We can even go back to the 30s. Here, yeah. let's just, the reason I want to touch on that is because I look at things tactfully because of being in the military. Yeah. Okay. The American people, we have these things, some of us have one, two, whatever. Then we got our laptop and our tablet and then the computer. We have the abundance of information right at our fingertips on so many levels. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We want this thing called instant gratification. We want our government to turn the leaf, get their stuff together, and do it in a matter of like yesterday, because that's how quickly they can. They just won't. But our government has been getting this power. They've been getting this level of control since the 30s and 40s. Yeah. 50s and 60s, they use crack let's call a spade a spade. They use crack in our projects, in our hoods, and in our barrios. It got a lot of us strung out. There's a lot of now fatherless homes because of it. Now we have morals and the lack of respect for our elders because they were raised by single parents who also fought each other for visitation, or hell, there was kids that didn't have any, their other parent. But in the end, our government has been doing everything they possibly can for this level of control. Now you look at it, We have white kids, black kids, brown kids, Indians, Asians, all in the barrios now. It's
Yeah.
2024. There's no such thing. I don't want to say that there's not racism because believe me, I experience it from mainly people that look like us. You know, they're the ones that call me the
Same.
nopal and the coconut. But in
Coconut.
the
I was
end,
gonna ask you if you've ever been called a coconut because I have.
yeah, because and it's not and it's more an attack on my ideology and the way I think. You know, and I get it, but a racial slur is a racial slur. Okay? But the government has been trying to maintain this level of power and control for decades. And we get upset and can't stay focused long enough. Even as conservatives, no se pueden juntar. Conservatives can't even stick together long enough to at least stay focused for a movement, whether it's 1 or 2 years.
Right.
Like they can't, you know, and it's part of human nature, you know, but you have some people who put themselves in front of a movement. And then you have this beautiful wave coming at you, and then it peters out because people get tired. I get you're getting tired, but when you're sleeping, they're still coming up with ways to divide you. They're still coming up with ways that they know how to fearmonger your opposition, and your opposition or those people that don't think like you, they know how to attack you. That's why they do this.
And
It's
it's
meant
all
for a reason.
emotional. It's all emotional because the moment, and I know you do this, amigo, but the moment, and when you start asking them questions, right, about policies, when you just start literally asking them questions about what have these career politicians done for you? How did you thrive under Obama? How are you thriving under Biden? And they keep reverting, well, because Trump did this, it affected us. No, 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 no. We can't. It's going to be 4 years now. You cannot use that anymore. That's gone. But once you start asking them questions, they have zero answers. And then they get mad, and then they start calling you names. At least that's what I'm used to. They start calling every name under the sun when they
Yeah.
cannot answer the most simplest questions about how
Oh my.
screwed up their life is right now in
Exactly.
this administration. They can't.
And you know what's even crazier about that? You know how I hear this. The system is against me and my people, and whether it's Raza or just anybody,
Yep.
you know, whether it's anybody.
Yeah.
My rebuttal is, can you explain to me how a system is against you when you're able to go out and get it and make it happen, make whatever you want to accomplish, you can go out and get it. All you have to have is just a strong mindset to not give up.
Yeah.
No, there's just things against me. If there's people that come here from all over the world, y aquí están, they're here for 2 weeks, a month, okay, with a language barrier, and they're making it happen. They're getting up, going to work. They don't have a job, but they find one. They get off their ass and go make it happen. So what system is against you if people can come here with not a nickel to their name, ni un centavo,
Right.
but they make it happen?
Right.
You know?
Well, and we have, I mean, especially like in the Black community, I feel that as far as Latinos, yeah, I mean, we kind of play that, card, but not as much as my fellow Black Americans do and it's like, you can look, we have Latino and Black astronauts. We have Latino and Black surgeons. We have Latino and Black attorneys. They're in every position of power. A lot of them come from nothing, like the majority of us. So how, there is not a system. And so and sometimes, like, I remember I have to have long conversation. I have this one follower on my Instagram, and he's a Black American, and he's in Chicago. And he said that he doesn't consider himself an American. He is an African. He's an African American, not just an American, right? When he was born here. But one day we bump heads on everything. He rebuts. Matter of fact, I just saw that he rebutted on something on my Instagram. He called me one day on Instagram. He started calling me. I was like, okay, we're going to do this. We're going to have this conversation. 3 hours, amigo. 3 hours I was on that Instagram call with this man, and we were going back and forth. And then when I started questioning him, he would get upset and he couldn't give me an answer. And at the end of the call, I said, you know what, man? I said, I just want us to be fellow Americans. I hope that you and I, if we can agree on any, we've made some progress on this 3-hour call, but if one thing that I hope that we got out of this is that we can both agree that we love living in a free country. We love not having, people that can come to our door and kill us at any time that they want, things like that. But man, there's still some very stubborn Americans in this country that don't want to let go. That the government
No,
is corrupt.
they don't, and it's a crutch, right? And there's nothing wrong with the way people were brought up and how they were raised. There's because we like you said, we got it in every community. Everybody has something like that, right? Or somebody like that. But in the end, part of the problem that I have is we don't call out our community. It's like in the Latino community, we don't call it out. That's some of my biggest videos that I had that have gone viral the most is where I'm talking about, some of the racism that happens in our community
Yeah.
to our own people, okay? Because in the end, I want to show everybody that I'm fair across the board. I am fair across the board. I don't favor one side more than the other because I've served with everybody and in between,
Yeah.
okay? We never looked at skin care or skin tone. We never looked if you were a gender or your sexuality or your faith. We never worried about. All we cared about was getting home, okay, and doing our job and getting home. And then when we were here to make sure you were still, alive and doing well in mental health, But that's some of my biggest videos where I talk about how ugly we can be to each other solamente porque pensamos diferente, just because we think differently.
Yeah.
But I'm over it. And that's why I said earlier, nobody is my competition. Not one American is my enemy. I served. So yes, you can probably call me a dumbass. You can call me all the racial slurs you want. That's what I served for.
Yeah.
But in the end, I'm not your enemy. I'm not the guy that's the politician that promised you something and lied to you. And that wasn't me, but I'm calling it out. I'm calling it out on both sides.
Yeah.
Because they're both part of the problem. Two wings of the same bird belong to the same bird,
Yeah. But and at the end of the day, when people ask me, I'm like, but the Republican Party, their values align more with the conservatism of what we are. So just because we have some bad apples in there does not mean that we, the people, we have to be involved. We go, and this is what I tell them. We have to get, I just got appointed precinct chair. I get sworn in this week. So, we have to get involved. We're not going to make a difference unless we get in there and we do the work ourselves. And that's at every capacity. That is at every level. If we're not in there and we just continue to allow these established, people, politicians, then nothing is going to change. If we, the people, do not stand up, if we, the people, do not do this ourselves, then we are not going to see a difference. We're not going to see a change. It is time for us. We, the people, are back. Trump pulled the curtain up on all of it. It is all there. And so we cannot unsee what we have already, we knew there was corruption.
Yeah. You can't put the pickles.
Show us.
You can't. Or what's the saying? You can't put the mustard back in the squeezy thing. Once it's out, it's out. It's out. So the best thing to do is address the issues, okay? And yes, most definitely get involved. The more you get involved, the more you'll realize how the corruption really is. And I'm grateful for Trump. And here's the thing. I didn't agree with everything he did. I didn't agree with everything he said, okay? But that is the wonderful part about our country.
Yeah.
Is I can still see where you're coming from and understand, not agree with everything and still support you, and I just want all of the people who have been taking advantage of our country that are elected officials, whether it's left or right, okay, in the end, they need to be held accountable and they need to be voted out. We have so many wonderful Americans with great ideas, even young ones, because I've heard some of their ideas. We got to start moving past these people who've been in office for 4 decades, 3 decades.
They're in their 80s, 90s. They're walking in wheelchairs, and I'm like, oh my God, these are decisions for us. It's pretty. ¿Cómo
estaba la Dianne Feinstein out of California? She was in a wheelchair and incoherent. But in the end, she got elected the same way Nancy Pelosi got elected, the same way, Mitch McConnell got elected. Is because a lot of people in the community are not doing anything, They're
Oh,
not. And
they don't show up to they sometimes like they just show up to the presidential elections and they don't understand how important every single race is in your community. Pero también, amigo, we have to call it what there's a lot of voter fraud. There's a voter fraud happening in our country. We are no longer a free country. We've seen it. It's there. So what that means and what that says is that they wouldn't push fraud if they hadn't lost, right? They lost the American people. They lost substantially. And so they have to cheat so that they can stay in power. And the fact that we're sitting back and allowing them to happen, which only means that we're allowing the communism.
yeah, we're being compliant.
It's
Yeah, we're being. So what? So 20. Yeah, so in 2020, we know what they use. They use the MIBs, the mail-in ballots. We know that. But that's because they had COVID. So I'm just curious. I'm just waiting for some ball to drop, because that needs to be pushed again. You know what I mean? Like something in that manner needs to push. You got Joe Biden's approval numbers in the Latino community sitting in the low 30s. In the low 30s. Like normally in the Latino community for a Democrat president hovers like 80 to 85.
That's when they show up playing Despacito, right? So that
but no, not no more. But you know what's amazing to see? Tanto gente que like a lot of the people that are coming through our southern border, they've made videos that not only make fun of American people, they're making fun of it. They're sitting here saying, "Mira estos pendejos! Like, look at these dummies." They're sitting here. They want me to come, and I'm taking their resources, and they're mad that their government is giving me the resources, but they want me here. Like, and then when I get here, I'm looking at Americans. I'm looking at Americans trying to turn America into the country I left.
I know.
¿Qué tontera is that?
I know. It makes zero sense. And again, it's because we have a whole generation of sonsos. So that's why I'm
give them the chancla. Yeah, anywhere away from me is good.
Well,
I got chancla PTSD. I got chancla PTSD.
I think most Latino kids, we all do. But now I get to use the chancla. And another thing, what we really have to look at, we have to watch what these people are doing. We have to watch what the politicians are doing, what these celebrities. I mean, why is Zuckerberg building a $2 million bunker? What does he need a $2 million? What do all these people need a $2 million bunker for? And are we invited?
Well, you notice when they started doing all of that was when Epstein, that whole client list, like all of that little ordeal was happening. That's when the floor plans with all this stuff started coming out. They weren't really talking about it before then, but it was in the works or whatever. And, and it takes a long time to prep for a bunker to be made. I mean, think about just the schematics of a floor plan that you got to come up with the idea of what you want. All right. But to be already moving this fast for what he's doing, we need to pay attention to what they're doing, most definitely. But in the end, this is where we end up getting stronger as people. And if I have a challenge to anybody, it would be to understand why people don't think like you.
Yeah.
Because if you can understand that part, then you will be more on the side of understanding the way they can work with you. And there's some people you're never gonna change their mind. Like that guy you were talking about, that 3-hour conversation. There's gonna be people like that.
Right.
And I'm just looking at things in my like where I come from because of how I served. I served for everybody. And I don't want nobody's voice to be heard, like not heard. I want everybody to be heard, but we have to be realistic. We do.
And we have to talk to each other. They made us so scared, right? To talk. They made us scared to wear the red Make America Great hat, again. They made us so terrified to voice that we agree that our country has not been okay, that our country is going down the toilet, that we can see, the issues that are there. They've made us scared to talk to each other, to confront each other. That's why they censor people like you and I. I've been censored so many times. I've been in Facebook jail so many times that every time I come out, I put another, when you have the thumbs up on Facebook, I have the thumbs down, and I put like little teardrops right here for every single time. In there. I'm in Facebook now so much. Like they just banned me for a long time for something I put up like 3 damn years ago. I'm like, you're just
Yeah.
looking for something to ban me for.
Yeah.
But that's what they do. They want us to be fearful. They want us to shut up. They don't want us talking. So that means we need to talk even more. We I make people like, I stopped being invited to the carne asadas, because they knew, oh, here comes Melinda. She's not going to shut up about how, corrupt the government is,
Yeah, but they don't understand. When you do that, you're not only doing it for your best interest, you're doing it for our country's best interest, you know? And it's not one of those ordeals where their opinion or their beliefs don't matter to you. It's not that, you know? A lot of times whenever I say what I say, it's because I get told to not say it. I
Exactly.
get told, no diga nada, don't say nothing. No, you don't tell me how I'm supposed to think, how I'm supposed to feel, what I'm supposed to know, and what I'm supposed to say. No, Charlie, you can go tell somebody else that can comply the way you want them to, but I'm not going to. No.
Yeah. Well, amigo, we are about to up time here, and I cannot tell you. I mean, I know an hour about flew by. Thank you so much. It is great to see you again. I just want to tell you, I congratulations on getting married. I can't wait to meet your beautiful wife. I know Christina was there with you guys, but I hope you'll come back on. And we have to keep talking to each other. We have to share each other's stuff. We have to, get the message out there. We have to stand together. We have to fight together. We have to lock arms. We have to love each other. We have to understand each other. And we have to be compassionate that we are really at a place right now in this country that is not good. And there is an agenda for us. It's not good. Like you said, take it back to the 1930s. And let's just be Americans. That's what we are about. We're hoping that we can get ourselves away from this, identity politics and all of that. Let's be Americans. Let's be freedom loving, conservative Americans that, need to fight for those freedoms. It's not just being out there in the battlefield anymore, like what you did, amigo. And thank you for your service, tremendously. And,
if there's anything I can say, is no matter what odds you're facing, doesn't matter what you're going through in life, it will get better.
Yeah.
May not get easier, but it will get better.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is whenever I get told what I get told, being the traitor, being the sellout, and all these things, I choose to honor my ancestors. Yeah. All the sacrifices from my Latino to Hispanic to my native side. Yeah. Of all my bloodlines, I choose to honor them. I don't want to look back and say that I'm a victim of any kind. No, I remember what they told me when I was a kid. Whether it was from some of my black kings that helped raise me, my white kings that helped raise me, my Latino kings that helped me, they were strong members of my community of all walks of life. Never forget what your ancestors came from, but at the same time honor them and make them proud. So when somebody tells me I can't do something, I tell them to hold my beer and check this shit out, because I will go do it. I will accomplish whatever I have set. And that's the mindset I have raised my kids to have. And we need that. We need more strong-minded people. Que no tienen miedo. Don't be scared. Go out and do it. Go out and do it.
God bless you, amigo. Thank you again. I loved this conversation. I was so excited. And again, like I said, come back and we'll share some more. And you guys get this way, let me know. My sister lives in Odessa. So when I get down there, we'll have to go have dinner, and hang out, and let's just keep talking how we're going to save this country. Okay.
Ya sabes, la puerta siempre está abierta. Doors always open. And anytime you need somebody to hop in, just let me know, because we can talk about some other crazy stuff.
There's a lot to talk about, so I would love that. God bless you.
I thank you. I love you guys. Greatly appreciate all y'all in the chat. Y'all know what's good. America always first. Keep it going forward. One love, fam.
Good luck. God bless everybody. Talk to you soon. Bye.